Question and answer time with Todd and Aaron.
It's time for Q&A with TNA. By the way, that stands for Todd and Aaron.
All right, welcome in to Q&A with TNA. My name is Aaron Montgomery. This extremely fine gentleman right here is Todd Downing. Todd, how is your day treating you, sir?
I'm an hour into Mr. Mom and no complaints yet, so I got to take it. Right?
All right,
take it.
That is great news. Great to hear. Well, welcome in everybody to Q&A with TNA. As I mentioned earlier, we haven't been around for a while. We had some traveling that we were doing, and I had some traveling I was doing, and things happen. So that's good.
Summer.
Yep, summer. Now, I do want to remind everybody that if you go down to the bottom left corner, right below Mr. Todd Downing there, you will see a link that you can go to, and in there is a Q&A with TNA channel that you can access from time to time. And we had it open while we were away, and nobody took advantage of that opportunity. But I don't know, Todd, did some people take advantage of the opportunity here tonight, as far as you know?
There's a few questions in there, so we will answer away, and that's what we'll do.
That's
when you think about this summer, you've traveled, I've traveled, we've had shows, we've had training. We tried to fill it in there, and man, it's already the end of July, man. It's already the end of July. Yeah. There's kids that start back to school on Monday. That is crazy to me.
Yeah. We're not that early on. I don't know when your kids start back, Todd, but mine is like more towards the end of August, like the 20th or ish, something like that.
So ours is the 26th, which is a Friday. So they go a full day on a Friday, and then that's it.
Yep. What?
Yeah. And then they go the week, and then that next weekend is a 3-day weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend. Or Labor Day weekend. Excuse me, Labor Day weekend. Those ones always use, but yeah, they go back to school. First full day is on a Friday. So, traditionally I like to try and keep it light on Friday. I'm going to try out, and I see all these people pushing this 4-day week workday stuff, and I used to do that, 4-10s and 4-12s, and have it off, and having Fridays off. I'm definitely taking that Friday off because as soon as we drop the kids off, we are breakfast dating it up with some friends and having some breakfast mimosas for sure because it's been a long summer. We still got a month to go.
And you got Mr. Mom happening right now. So
yeah.
Just
stuff. She's in the air right now. She should be landing in about an hour and a half or so there in Texas for TumblerCon, and she will return on Monday. So I finally figured out the schedule. It was leave today, come back on Monday because I wasn't 100% sure. I just knew it was sometime she's going to be gone and she's going to come back sometime.
It was a need to know basis, and you didn't need to know apparently, or
yeah, that was it. It was planned months and months ago. I think it was right after the first of the year, and it was crazy because they have classes that were on. I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday for classes, or maybe just Friday and Saturday, and everything sold out in about 10 minutes. Like she was only able to get one class in, and we're talking this class. There's like, I don't know, a couple hundred people in it. It is crazy, and so she's working in the Crystal Ninja booth there, and then do have class all day on Saturday. So it'll be fun and interesting. We'll see how she likes it. I said, here's the thing: you're going down there, and you're coming back with leads because especially on I was about to swear, but especially on products that you need to carry inside your store. So that's what she's looking for, is a couple epoxy vendors. So we'll see how she does on her project.
All right. Well, good. Go get them, Corey and Joy, and bring back those leads. Okay. Well, let's check in with everybody here real quick, Todd. We got Jesus checking in. He says he is ready.
All right. What's up, Chuck?
There you go. I was waiting for that one. Wendy, thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon. Edward, good evening. Thanks for being here, sir. He says he's at a restaurant for a very late breakfast and I cannot hear you, so I will just watch later. Okay. Stay happy, healthy, and profitable. I love it.
That is a late breakfast, right? That's a late breakfast. That's not even brunch, man. I don't know what you call it. It's breakfast for dinner is what you call it.
Brenner? Was it Brenner?
Brenner.
Brenner. All right. Well, Edward, good to see you here, man. Thank you. All right, Cheryl. Great. Cheryl Neer finally catching us. So we appreciate you tuning in, Cheryl. Appreciate you.
We're here.
And hello, Terry. She says, hello, gentlemen.
Use that term loosely?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. She should just go ahead and put the quotes on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the quotes.
Hi there, Jerry. Good to see you, sir.
Jerry.
Alan says, my niece and nephew go back to school the Wednesday after Labor Day with an early dismissal that Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go back for 2 days and they're out early a day. And like ours get out every Wednesday early. Every Wednesday is an early out day for ours. And then once a month on that Wednesday, they only go for like 2 hours. So trying to plan stuff is just ridiculous when it comes to that school.
Yeah. I have stopped trying to figure out what the logic behind some of these school scheduling situations are, but because I doubt there is actually any logic.
No. Well, ours, we've had 3 different schedules in the last 3 years, start dates and end dates, because they put it to a vote to see which one was going to work best. Because like last year they had the week we started. I want to say it was like the week before. It might have been about the same time, but we were out before Memorial Day weekend, and the kids had a week off at Thanksgiving. Now this year there's no week off at Thanksgiving, and they're actually getting off in June. So I don't know how it's going to work. I know that they just never seem to go to school. They never seem to go to school. They're always a day off or something.
Good times. Like you said, no logic to that. All right. Well, let's keep moving forward here. We've got Janessa. What's up?
Janess, what's going on?
Yeah. And High Voltage Graphics. Good afternoon.
Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly Hill, right?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I know Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. All right. In fact, Kelly, have you been getting my emails? I know you sent me a couple and I replied to a couple. I just want to make sure that you're getting those. So let me know. Okay. Craig, good evening. Thank you for being here. Layla, greetings from Alabama. Wonderful.
Greetings as well.
Got Lisa, good evening, everybody. And Cheryl's not far from you there, Todd. Dixon, Illinois.
Dixon, I used to run cross country. There was a cross country meet in Dixon in high school. That's where I think it was sectionals were held, was Dixon. Dixon is an hour from me on 88. Dixon from me to Chicago is the last exit before the toll road starts. So in fact, when I worked at the Kidney Center, when I was in the medical field, that was one of my clinics. And I had 3, they varied depending on patient load, but you work 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it was between 12 and 14 hours. So you did that, and I loved it up there. I hated the drive because it was an hour drive both ways. So, 14-hour day could be a 16-hour day, but you had the next day off. So it was work a day, have a day off. You never had to work weekends. I really enjoyed that part of it. But yeah, it was a fun drive in the winter. It sucked. I hated it. I hated that part.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Now we got a little update there on Todd's goings on. I like that. I like it. Awesome. All right. Ree, good evening.
Good evening, Ree.
And good afternoon, Rachel says, and gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
All right. And good afternoon to you, Michelle.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Okay, good. I saw another comment from Kelly. I'll get to that in a second. Wendy says they're talking about the school schedules. It's about keeping the teachers happy, not about the kids being in school consistently. All right.
I don't even know that, because the teacher said that with the schedule, they're like, I don't understand it at all. It would be nice to be able to plan accordingly, because like this time everybody loved, including the teachers, having that week off at Thanksgiving. For ours, it was really weird the way it worked because they had they're trying to move some stuff where it was going to be a break in September, a break in November, Christmas break, and then one in March for spring break. So yeah, I don't think you ever had to go to work more than, I think the longest between breaks with the kids went a solid week was maybe 3 weeks. Other than that, they always had there was a holiday in there, something going off. It was once again, I don't understand that schedule, not at all.
Wow. Okay. Good times. So Brian also shared that here in Missouri, they passed a law that it has to be after the state fair that the kids go back to school. Interesting.
Really? I wonder why that is. Is it because they show animals or something for the kids, or what is the reason? So more people can go to the state fair? I don't know. There's a reason for it. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Brian says our schools only go 4 days and no days off.
My daughter, she goes to a private school, and that's what hers was. It was they were off every Monday. Was that how it worked? It was no. They had it was Friday. They were off every Friday, so they went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Duh. But then when the holiday fell on Monday, they'd go on Friday. So that's how that one worked, and it seemed to do okay. But yeah, it was crazy.
Very crazy. Okay. And let's see here. What else we got? Okay, so Kelly, spam folder. We talked about the emails. Yep, in my spam. Okay, good. Kelly, let me know. Reply it, and then feel free to reach out to me. Whatever, Facebook Messenger, whatever works for you. Or here we go. Reach out to me right down there below Todd. OSG.link/volley. You can always catch me on Volley. In fact, Volley was how Todd sent me a little quick reminder. Said, "Hey, we're starting this in 2 minutes." I'm like, "Oh crap." I got into something I was working on.
Yeah, Volley totally logged me out, and I don't know what happened. So then I had to remember how I logged in because I tried logging in with my email, but it wouldn't let me. But so I had to go in through Google to do it. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Interesting. It didn't. I've not been logged out. Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll keep an eye on that too. All right, let's see what else we got here. Chuck says Todd running cross country, can't see it.
I was not the best runner because we had plenty of ones that were in the low fives, like 5:05 minute miles. I was about a 6 to 7, depending. I was, when it got farther in the season, especially my senior year. When I can totally reminisce on this. Going to our senior year, there was only 2 seniors. We've been running the whole time, so we figured, hey, we're captains. They made us captains, but they were like, we are not pointing you guys because the group ahead of ours, they ran together and were points for 3 years. And so instead of just having us there, they said, we are going to start with our sophomores again and do that for 3 years. So it made sense. But then we realized, that means we just get to screw around all season and really take it out on the kids. And so we did. We had a ball with it our senior year. But yeah, it was a good 6 minute miler. There was times I dipped below that, but I didn't train nearly as hard as I should have. I could have graduated early, and I thought about it, and then I realized, I'm 16. What the hell am I going to do if I graduate early? So, senior year consisted of a bunch of blow-off classes and screwing around. It was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Brian said the law was for tourism.
That makes sense.
And Ree shared more money spent and made. Absolutely. Hello, Kurt. Oops.
Curtis.
Hello, Curtis. And then Michelle, good point here. There you go. Homeschool, and then you can start when you want.
I think they still have somewhat of a curriculum because a lot of those homeschoolers, they work with other homeschoolers, so they still kind of start at that same time and go there because they got on my daughter's a hybrid private school homeschooling type thing, and they follow a curriculum with some other ones too. So they still do stuff together, still able to participate in the sports that the high school's in, and it's an interesting thing. It's definitely not for me, but I would be too lazy at that. I couldn't. I could think back to me in senior year. Not happening.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Todd, I got one for you here. Facebook user.
FU.
All right. Well, Facebook user, do us a favor. If you go to osg.link/FU, that will give StreamYard permission to see who it is, probably coming in from one of the groups or something along those lines. So Facebook will do that. Or, and I don't know if I've got the links in here, Todd, but you're good at sharing. What are the YouTube links?
liveosg.com or fatdadlive.com.
There you go. Thank you.
Those will get you over there.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's the link I was looking for. Fatdadlive.com or liveosg.com. So go check that out. But let's get back to what the comment was. My wife, daughter, and daughter-in-laws are all elementary school teachers. They say not ever enough breaks.
Come on. Like, when I hear teachers complain, and I'll get on my soapbox for this. Like, listen, you did not get forced in that position. You knew you're going to be working with kids, and you knew kids can be a-holes. And at least in our area here, I mean, you can make six figures as a teacher, have summers off, and have a great schedule throughout the year. So yes, you may have to work some more, but when you divide all of that up, it does not sound that bad. Yes, you might have to start a little low in the beginning, but that's part of it. That's cutting your teeth. It's weeding out the ones that it's not there for. But I mean, the benefits, the time off, the pay. There's times thought I should go back and be a teacher because, hey, what are you really doing? You're not creating anything. It's in a book, and you're basically just there to be the librarian and say, open the book and doing this, right?
Oh boy. All right. Well, let me first just clarify for everybody. The opinions and statements from Todd are those of his and his alone. They are not condoned by our success group or blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, kidding. Yes. Thank you so send all hate mail to Janessa says I'm like at a 15-minute mile. Janessa, I ran cross country in high school too, and was kind of like Todd, but now a 15-minute mile is definitely I feel like I'm moving at 15-minute mile.
Last time that I ran a mile, because when we did, it's been a few years. So we did a walk run for, I'm not even sure what it was for, but the 3 mile, the 5K. And I still finished it. I think it was under 30 minutes. So I was under a 10-minute one. So I was happy with that. I was dead for 3 days after it, but I don't know what I'd be at now, but I bet a little bit of training, I could be there pretty good. We'd see.
Yeah. All right. You could get there, huh? All right.
Oh, yeah.
We're so Kylene and I are running a half marathon in October, and our goal is to break the 3-hour barrier. So we've got to be in that 13-minute mile range to be able to do that. So
yeah, we've got a marathon that rolls through here, and it goes across both states. It crosses 2 bridges. It hits all the boroughs. I'm not interested in that. They made these things called cars, so I no longer have to run. And that was kind of the pushing point for me was once I got my license, I'm like, and I don't know if running's for me, especially cross country, because we would get up in the morning and we had, there was 2 runs that we traditionally did. In the morning, it was Taco Bell. So from where our field house was to Taco Bell and back was 3 miles. Or we had a Blockbuster, which Blockbuster and back was 5 miles. So that was every morning. And then we had practice at night. So we were anywhere from 3 miles to 12 miles a day. And yeah, I don't know, man, that was a lot. Now that I think about it, that was a lot.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I would say about all that, right? Like running a half marathon, I get the car and all that other kind of fun stuff, but I guess when you're running a half marathon, especially when you're running it as slow as I am, it's not necessarily the physical part. It actually really becomes a whole mental game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why I'm interested, right? Is just to see if I can do it, right? How far can you go? How far can you push? And because let's be honest, it's going to take 3 hours to run a half marathon, there's going to be a lot of walking that's going to be happening.
Oh yeah. And I've got 2 friends that are ultra marathon runners, those 100 miles in 24 hours and that stuff, through the forest and all new. And it is amazing. It blows my mind every time I hear they're in one, because I'm like, man, you are built of a different something else, because that is just, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Brian says 8-minute mile was the Navy physical training minimum every 6 months. I think that's it.
Well, did they have to run it or swim it? It was Navy, so
it's good point. All right. So okay, I don't quite get Jerry's comment here. My wife, daughter, and daughter-in-law are. Oh, okay. That's who was the FU. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, now it makes sense. Yeah, indeed, says Todd, opening that can of worms. Hey, Brian says the older you were, the longer you had. One guy stopped and smoked a cigarette at the halfway point, and maybe.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah, Alan says I only run if I'm being chased, and even then, I might still just walk. Right? Yeah, I've used that one. I want to go back and so Jerry, there we go. Thank you, Jerry. Todd says my wife, daughter, and daughter-in-law are not agreeing with your teacher comments. Yes,
Yeah, my teacher friends don't either, except in the summertime when they say, "Hey, you want to hit up a ball game?" I'm like, "No, I'm doing this thing called work, and you're not doing it, are you?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right, because we're teachers. We have the summer off." So yeah, I get it. And I came from my ex-wife. There's a family of teachers with them, and so it was always great to razz them because they're like, "Come on, let's go just do this." I'm like, "Dude, I gotta work. I just don't have the summer off." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that does suck, doesn't it?" Or at Christmas time when there's 2 weeks off, and they're like, "Hey, you want to go here?" I'm like, "No, I got to work." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right." You know, teachers rub that in. They do. They rub that in.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me go back to an earlier comment here. Terry says, "I think we need to see senior pictures of you, Todd and Aaron." So
I'm trying to pull mine up because I know I have posted it before. Because I think but I'm trying to think if it was where it was at, but mine's on here. It is a black and white photo. We did it, and I thought it was on my phone too because it was Corey and myself, from back in high school. So I'm going to see if I can find that.
All right, you find that. While you were finding that, I looked up my yearbook over at classmates.com, and I'm there. There we go. There I am, right here.
Right there. Now I'm going to look theirs. I wonder if ours is on there.
Oh, sure it is. Sure it is. So there you go, Terry. You said you wanted to see our senior pictures. So
mine was black and white. Ours wasn't even color, man. We were not. I'm almost positive it wasn't black. Now I gotta find the yearbook. Corey has all the yearbooks. She's got that. We've done that before. We went through it and we started finding people because we the last time we broke it out was there, and let's see, it was because we were 95, so it was in 2020 was supposed to be our 25th reunion. So I guess it was 5 years before that was the last time I remember breaking them out. So now I'm gonna look and see on Classmates if by chance it's there, and we'll find out.
Right. Sounds good. Darren says, I was a fighter, so I didn't have to run. So there you go. And then Terry, thank you, Aaron. Great picture. Jerry says, I tell them the same thing. So he's in your camp, Todd.
Jerry's working today. What are they doing? Nothing, right? Lounging around, trying to get him to skip work.
Probably so. All right. You keep looking that up. Let's see here if we got anything else to cover before we get into the questions, which we can do that here in a little bit too. Let's see here. And then I don't know, Todd, once we get to the question part, you're going to have to help me out here because I think a couple of these we actually answered last time.
There was only one in there. The one up from the bottom was in there, but everything else I think was new.
Because I could have sworn we talked about how do I know if trade shows are worth going to.
Maybe we did. Maybe that was the last one, and we just didn't delete it out.
All right. So I'm going to delete that one because I do feel like we did answer that one. All right. Let's see here. Jerry said Jerry had a 22-hour day at Ameren yesterday with the floods. Yeah. So for those of you that Jerry's here in the St. Louis area where I live, and Brian is also in Missouri, and woke up to volleys from Brian sharing about all the flooding. And I knew that it rained. I was up late that night, and I knew that it would rain really hard, but I didn't realize all the flooding. So fortunately, where I live, I'm kind of up on a hill, but I know at the end of our street, they had the roads closed, and then down on the major highway, they had those closed as well. So we had some, I guess the final number in that 8-hour period here in the St. Peter's area was like 12.3 inches was how many inches of rain we got in an 8-hour period. So definitely some flooding. All right, sir, I see you've got the.
Look what I found. So if you go there, there's Corey, second in there. You got Kelly, and then you got Corey right here, and then there's me. Look at me. No facial hair, full head of hair. That was 1995.
Oh, you're just a little ways over. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get okay. So Corey's on that first row that you can see, like you said,
Yep.
second one from the left.
Yep.
And then the guy with the suit on is
between us.
you and her. And then,
Yep, Jeremy.
holy cow!
Yep.
Who's that guy?
That's me. So yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
And those are like when we go through it. Next to me, Duffy. I'm working on shirts for his wife now. He's the ultra marathon runner because we ran cross country together. And then my best friend still from high school, Doozer, right below me over 3. He's right there. He's a hotel manager up in Chicago now. But yeah, we've been friends now for 30 years, but yeah, that's how we knew because every class.
You're the only guy without a tie on in that.
Yeah, because I wasn't a tie guy. I'm not wearing a tie.
No, Christopher M. Edwards was not a tie guy
I'm
either.
not
You
wearing
got too cool for ties.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a tie. Now what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll find now I got to find the cross country one, right? We got to see that. So, yeah.
So Darren says, I was also just nice, so I never had to fight unless it was in the ring. So there you go. That's smart for sure.
Very smart.
Dean says, we need rain here. It's in the 40s at night.
Oof.
How many in your senior class? I thought for a second he was asking how many years. If I remember right, well, you know what, I do remember right because I used to think it was in the 200s, but I was corrected when I was out at my 30th high school reunion this year. We had about 190 people in our graduating class. So
we had 621. 621 is what we had in our graduating class.
That's massive. Wow. All right. Terry says, you guys are so young. Great high school pictures. All right. There we go. Okay. Well, let's get into this, Todd. We're now 27 minutes in, and we said we do these 30 minutes, and we haven't even answered a question yet.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. All right. How do I pick the right heat press and go?
What's your budget? To me, there's two things. You're going to want the biggest press that your budget allows, and you're going to want make sure that there's some kind of support or warranty with it. A lot of the ones that you're going to find on your eBay or your Amazon, make sure you read the reviews. They can get the job done, but know that the majority of people have issues with them eventually. So a great starter press to get going, but don't expect that to be your forever press. But you can get started with those, make some money, save that money, don't spend it, and then go buy a heat press that's going to, outlast you. I've got, my old Hicks here, which we've come to figure out is probably 30 plus years old, and it still works. So when you're buying, a Hicks, a Georgia Knight, an Instapress, Stalls, who am I missing? When you're buying that, you're buying stuff built to last. So, to me, buy what the biggest you can in your budget, because like a smaller one, a 12 by 12, you can get a lot done on that. But there's some things that you can't do on it. That just go with what your budget allows for.
Yeah, and here's the other part about that, Todd. You mentioned the smallest, the biggest press that your budget will allow. I know what the budget might be, but if you think about a heat press, especially for what we're doing, that is the center of your business, right? That is the tool that makes you money, and you can get a warranted 16 by 20 heat press in that $1,000 range. You won't have all the bells and whistles, but you can find, I think all of the major players, at least when I was selling them, they all had one in that range. Maybe they're a little bit higher now, but you can get a $1,000 16 by 20 heat press that is warranted. And if that's not in your budget, I think you got to really think about your business, right? You got to be able to come up with $1,000, right? Put it on a credit card if you have to kind of get to that, because this is the center of your business. Like Todd said, you can do a lot of things, but Murphy's Law will go that the second that you get that 12 by 12 or 11 by 15, the next customer that walks in the door will need something that requires a 16 by 20. Just, so Um, think about this as an investment, not how cheap can I go. And I like Todd was saying, those ones that you can get off eBay, Amazon, whatever, import. Yes, they will work. Yes, I know people that have made them work. Yeah, in fact, I think you've made one work in the past, and I've used one in the past, right?
Yeah, we've got two that we use for when we're doing shows because they're super light. We have one that's still in a box that we've never opened in case the other one goes down. That's kind of how it is. But it was super light, portable. Not built the best, but it gets the job done when you're there pressing for it.
Yeah. But like if you're doing sublimation, for example, there's a chance you're going to have cold spots or uneven pressure and things like that. So by the time you ruin enough blanks, you're going to go, gosh, I wish I would have invested that extra, couple $100 into one that's got a warranty that I know is going to have even heat, even pressure. So, yeah, but beyond that, like Todd was saying, the right heat press for you is going to vary depending on what you're trying to do. If you're doing a lot of garments, I'm a fan of the clamshells, and you can make the clamshells work for everything, right? You press big stuff on yours all the time, but just depending on what you're doing, there are advantages and benefits to the swing away varieties or the drawer style, like the Fusion. When you've got a swing away press and you're doing something that's thick and that needs a lot of heat and a lot of even pressure, you're getting that pressure straight down onto the item. And that's always going to give you better results.
And one of the things on the swing aways to remember too is to make sure you have the room for the movement, because sometimes I've seen people get that and realize, oh, I didn't realize it didn't swing this other way, or that, because you can't. So, make sure that you have the room for it because you got a big platen swinging around, so you don't want to make sure you screw something up. Yeah.
So, and then there are some like we've got a DK20S, which is the George Knight auto release one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that we didn't get it. It's not that I don't like the press, but because of the way that the arm's built, when it's open, it's super high. And my wife being 5'5", that's a stretch for her. And if she presses a lot of stuff, it hurts her back.
I had a vision come to me, and I've talked to a few different people about it. I will have to tell you about this because I think it is a product that can be produced fairly reasonable that will help with the vertically challenged people, because that's the issue between like Corey and I have the press set for her. And to me, I'm hunched over it and that hurts, it sucks. So, when there's two people of varying heights on a piece of equipment, there's got to be a way that both of them can use that. And, sir, you're going to love this idea when I tell you off the air, because nobody's stealing my idea.
I love it. All right. So Cheryl says, I have the DK20S. I'm pretty sure it's the DK20S. It's the, or maybe the DK is the.
No, that's what you have.
Swing away. George Knight's that is the clam that auto releases. That's the one
maybe it's just the DK20, because I think isn't the 20S, isn't that swing? Is S for swing?
Yeah.
You swinger over there? I don't know. I don't think so. Yours doesn't swing.
You know what? DK20S is the swing away. So no, I have the what's the number? Come on.
DK20.
Yeah, just DK20. Just DK20. There you go. So I do not have the swing away. It is the clamshell. So and George Knight makes a tank. I mean, they're great presses.
Mm-hmm.
Now if I had it to do over again, I would probably get a Stahls. So just
I love it. Because with it having that hover feature, it does it presses, and where it's built, it even though it's a clam, there's even pressure throughout it. So, and it's been a workhorse. I have 5-6 years, no issues with it. So
yeah, Nikki said I had to put a strap on the handle so I could pull it down. Yep. Hello, gentlemen, and again another. I'm believing she's using air quotes. Gentlemen. Or look for a good used one close at home that you can check out. That's a great idea, Dean. Thank you for sharing that.
Marketplace always has stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Nikki says, yep, I have 3 fancier studio ones. I had one from Heat Press Nation, and I had so many issues with it. So Jerry says, love my Fusion, 60-20 swing away with drawer. Little pink press for shows works great too. That honestly, like I said, if I had it to do over again, I'd probably get the Fusion. But but again, nothing. I have no bad words about the Geo Knight. That would just be my personal preference. So I do love the DK 20S. I again wish we would have had a swing away, but just we got it with the direct garment printer. So the thought was it'd be doing a lot more garments, but didn't just turn out that way. So all right. Let's see what else here. Yeah, Angela says room is key for that swing away. Okay, it's funny, Todd. I've been into several different shops throughout my time in this industry, and it is always funny to walk through those shops where they've got a swing away press by the wall, and there's a hole in the wall next to it.
Ding, ding.
Well,
Gotta move that.
Yeah, and then Dean, the other solution is it's called an air. Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
I just
and they're crazy. They're not that much more, but it's just a big enough jump that a lot of people don't even think about looking into them. But
the one that I just saw, I want to say it might have been Hicks that had it, and I have to go back and look and see what it was. But theirs was like 3,600, so theirs was like a lot more. But theirs had an air bladder from the bottom. And so it went up that, and it looked like just like an airbag off a car. And I'm thinking, I don't know about that being like $1,000 more for it. And the pressure wasn't a digital pressure; it was still a dial pressure. Which you can't read a dial anyway. It's there. So I would definitely have to look in the morning. I think we'll see how that one plays out. I wasn't too sold on that one.
All right. Well, I've seen some good ones, and then you get into a larger press here, like the Geo Knight Maxi Press 4464. Hicks makes a nice 4464 as well. Starting into those larger formats, they're air operated. So Dean says he converted his Geo about 25 years ago to the air. That's awesome, Dean. I have the DK20S, and my back hurts after several presses. That is a challenge with the DK20S that I've heard from other folks too. Is that it is such a tank that the swinging it back and forth can be a little bit of a challenge. Especially, one thing I would check is to make sure that it's really level, or so that gravity will help you a little bit. Around. Yep. Let's see here. Michelle says, I want an air operated one so bad. I currently have a Geo Knight. So there you go. Okay.
I think the next one I'm going to get is I think I'm going to get a shuttle, and then ride on air. So that way you have the two, you can set up one while this one's going, and then just go back and forth. On the DTF side, I've seen a lot of people using those in production, and it does. When you're doing production wise on pressing, this makes a lot of sense because you can set one up while you're doing the next one and then go from there. So
yeah,
maybe that'll be in the future.
Hotronics has a nice shuttle. In fact, they've got a shuttle, and then I think it's also available as an air shuttle as well.
Yep. That's what I saw. So then it's the tz.
Yeah. Dean says for pushing the button, he gets a blister after about 200 presses. All right. All right, Dean. Inquiring minds want to know, how did you convert it to air?
I'm surprised he just doesn't have a Bluetooth with Alexa and say press and press. Come on, Dean. If you converted it to air 25 years ago, I know you have the technology inside of you to figure out how to make Alexa just press that for you.
That's right. All right. I could have sworn they had a kit though that you could get to do it. So I
think he built his, if I remember right.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, 25 years ago, I'm guessing for sure he built it. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been a long time. But I used to quote unquote sell Geo Knight presses sometimes. They weren't my favorite to sell, but so again, it's just personal preference. I have no beef with Geo Knight. I think they're a good company. Hicks, Hotronics, Insta, all good companies. And so yeah, I think as long as you're staying in that realm of does it have a warranty, somebody to support you, you're going to be in good shape. So let's see here. Angela says, I bought an adjustable workbench from Home Depot, and it still doesn't go low enough for my Fusion IKEY for my short arms. So, okay.
You'll run into that. Get longer arms.
Yeah. Dean says, I will post a picture on Volley. Thank you, Dean.
Nice.
So
nice.
Speaking of Volley, let's see, get this banner out of the way here real quick. Again, go right down below Todd there, osg.link/Volley if you want to see that. And
get down here, right there. Get down there.
All right, let's see here. What else do we got in the questions here, Todd?
Here,
What is
before we get into that one, check this out.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and add this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if I can. I wonder if I can make that. I can't make that
Yeah,
any bigger. Can I?
Oh, I don't.
Because I am right in the center. So I am one in that second row, 1, 2, 3, 4 over. I got a nice fro roll in. It was the 90s. It was cool. It was the start of my fade and my big hair. I wonder if I can make that any bigger. I don't think I can, right? Zoom out, zoom in.
I don't
Right?
think so.
Zoom out, nope, zoom in.
That's as far as it
much
goes.
I
Huh?
can.
All right. Well,
I'll figure out another way to do it. But yes,
All right.
that is
There
me
you go.
right there, center of it. Those are my clue right there. And I'm looking a lot. Let's see, looking at those, there's probably a good 5 or 6 that I still on at least a monthly basis talk to one way or another. So school sports, stay in school sports, kids. You'll
There you go.
enjoy it. You'll have fun.
nice.
So yeah,
All right.
see, proof I ran.
Well, you were at least in the picture with the team, right?
That was supposed to be a rebuilding year, and we did good. I think we went undefeated that year. So
Very nice.
I'll take it.
Good job. There you go. All right. What is something I can add to my business today to start making money? Todd, go.
Outsourcing. Doesn't matter. Outsource whatever you want to add. You can find somebody to sell it to you today so you can sell tomorrow. That's the easy thing to say, because we learned that kind of the hard way, so we don't have to do everything in house. So outsourcing is definitely the way that you can add that to your business today and start making money tomorrow. There's tons of products that your customers want that you aren't able to produce, but somebody else is. So you might not make the great money if you made it yourself, but hey, making 20% off of something that you don't really have to mess with, that's not too shabby. So
Yeah.
that would be what I would go with, outsourcing.
Well, and the other part about outsourcing, Todd, right? You said, make 20%, and that's not too shabby. I mean, yeah, it's not too shabby for a lot of different reasons. Like you said, you don't have to mess with it. So you're kind of submitting an order. Yes, you do still have to manage the order and some of that stuff. So that control piece can be a little bit of a challenge for some people. But at the end of the day, if you try to take that on before you have a market built for it, you're going to have, equipment that is just costing you money, and you're putting your business in danger, right? So we need to make sure that. So I totally agree with what Todd's saying there, that whatever it is that you're going to add, I would start anything, right? It could be a core thing, part of your business, but don't get there until right? And so I guess the way I would answer this question is to say, and I'd love to go, oh, here's the product, right? But at the end of the day, none of that matters. What matters is what your customers need, how you can solve a problem for them. And so if you want to figure out what you should add to your business, you should go talk to your 5 best customers and find out what challenges they have in their business. It doesn't even have to be something that you do. Just go talk to them human to human and say, so what are some of the major challenges in your business, that, and then start digging in from there. And then, think, is that something that I could do? Is that something I could help them with? If it's too far away, maybe you can start directing them, okay, well, are you having a hard time with your branding? Are you having, whatever it is, and find that thing. And then, like Todd said, go outsource it. So you guys just came back from ASI, so you can bazillions of products that you could sell to somebody.
Lots and lots. And one of the things I heard a couple different people now say it, and so I'm definitely saying it to others too, that if they went back to do things over again, they wouldn't bring something in-house unless it was producing $100,000 currently. So if you're doing, let's say, sublimation, right, and you wanted to start making shirts on that, well, they wouldn't bring it in-house. They'd sub it all out until did it, because their thought process was, if something can produce $100,000 in revenue, it's got to be able to pay for an employee, because if you're doing this, you can't do both things at once. You're going to have to, your time is going to get divided. So if you have to bring in an employee, what's an average employee going to cost? $30,000 to $50,000. What's that? What's that $100,000 going to break down to after everything's said and done? $30,000 to $50,000. So $100,000 is basically pay that employee. So that's why they said, yeah, we wouldn't bring anything in house unless it was already producing $100,000. So they could sub it all out till it made that. Okay, Now we can bring it in house because we can control it a little better. We can hire somebody in to do it in house. We can do all of that, and we don't miss a beat. Instead of now trying to go find the business to pay for that payment on that equipment, to pay for the employee to do all that. No, the other thing is it's already set, ready to go. So you can bring it all in and just go from there. Now, some people will just say, nope, I'm just buying the equipment and jumping straight into it. Hey, that's great. But sometimes it just doesn't work out because you've only got so many hours in a day. And when it's just you, that gets scary fast, because something's got to give, either your personal life, your family life, your business, something's got to give. So you have to be really focused on what you're trying to do and trying to accomplish, because you try and do too much, it's going to burn you out. And I've seen it. I've lost count of times that I've seen people, just stop because they're like, I can't do it anymore. And what's the main reason? They're not pricing things correctly. They're making $1 or losing money on everything they sell. And they're like, I can't do anything. I can't make it, for us, there's times where we've had, even for a year, there's still days where we have $0 days. It's crazy, that yesterday, looking at everything all said and done, yesterday closed out, it was over a 5K day. Today, it was a $200 day. It's just, we just continuously put things out there, and that 5K day will carry out because it's a project that, there's a couple different things going on with it that we're pushing throughout here. But that's what you do, is you set up for those jobs to be able to do that, because there's going to be times where it's rough. You have to save those 5 days game, those 5K days for when there's 5 days with nothing coming in. And you're working, you're producing, you're putting stuff out there, but yeah, it gets tough, man. It really, really gets tough. And if you're not focused and you don't have your pricing under control, you could really get hurt. And in fact, one of the jobs that we won yesterday, they told us that we were higher than who they traditionally use, but they said, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get our stuff, and it's only like 137 pieces, so it's not a ginormous order. And it was because they're so backed up because they were that low on pricing. They're backed up. They couldn't do it. They said the quality wasn't the greatest. This is what they're running into, and I think they just didn't have a good control of their business to know what was going on with it. Because I'm not doing that job for that cheap. Sorry, here's my thing, and that's what they said. Is there any movement on price? I said yes. We can come down on pricing when you double your order. You want to double your order? We can come down on pricing, but there's no reason for me to lose money because of that. And after some talks, they were good to go on it.
Yeah, and Todd, I think one of the things I'm most proud of in what we've done with our success group is being able to give people a system, a way, a methodology to look at their business in that way and to be able to understand very quickly where they're at, right? Like, I remember one of the comments, and I'm just paraphrasing here, not word for word, but basically was, after going through the 5 keys, I now know what I have to make. I've got to raise my prices, but at least now I know, right? And so, like, comment from one of our longtime supporters and OSG community members, Becky Breeding, the fact that she shared with us that, she was paying herself for the first time in 13 years of being in business, right? And so having that system, having a way to do that is so key. And so you're exactly right, Todd. You've got to price what you're worth, and you can't price what you're worth if you don't know what your numbers are.
Yeah. Well, and you got to revisit those numbers, because look at even on Sanmar, the PC55, it was traditionally a 224, 229 shirt. And now it's what, a 279 shirt, So, I mean, that's a huge increase when you look at it percentage wise. If you're not pricing, if you don't know what it costs you to purchase these things, to produce them, that 50 cents can make or break. When somebody's doing, a shirt special that they've seen somebody else do, 100 shirts for, $4. Well, you got to make sure your pricing's right, because your shirt's already $3. What are you putting in that? Where's your labor at with it? Can you really make anything off of that? And a lot of people can't, the ones that are doing that. Well, it's because they're getting even better pricing than you, because they're doing, 1 million shirts a year. They've got autos running, so they're looking for stuff just to feed that downtime on it. So, you can't always compete with that. So just because you see a price online doesn't mean that's what you should go by. You have to know what your numbers are, what it costs you to be in business. Because the last thing you want to do is go out of business, and a way to do that is know your numbers, know your numbers.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's see what we got here. And Dean says, Aaron, can you move the video when you get a chance to put it in the wrong belly area? Dean, already done. So if you'll head over to osg.link/volley, you can go right in there. You'll find the Q&A with TNA channel over on the left side. And you will see Dean's video where he's got his GeoNight air-operated press that he converted. So, and then Dean said, I couldn't get rid of my sublimation fast enough. Things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Cheryl says, don't buy cheap quality items and expect people to pay big bucks. They will notice how cheap the quality is and never return. They will also tell others about the low quality. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of times it comes down to what they're after, because, hey, here's my budget. Hey, you're going to get cheap for that. What is it? You can get cheap, fast, and good. Pick two. That's what it is. What do you want? Cheap, fast, or good? Oh, I want good. Well, it's not going to be cheap. This is how it works. And a lot of times, we've ran into that where they're like, listen, we have an event. It's a one-day event. We want the most budget-friendly option possible because it's just a promo thing to get out there. Okay. You're not going to sell them an all-made shirt for that. You're going to find out, hey, here's your stuff on it and go from there. But, discuss it with your clients. What are you after? What are you trying to do? Looking through a lot of the promo stuff. I mean, you're talking, there was promo pieces on there that were, $700-$800 a piece, for one piece, and like Waterford crystals that you can do. I'm like, what now? They're like, yeah, high-end clients, that's what they're giving people. And so there's something for everybody. And there's a lot of cheap stuff out there, but the big thing, know what it costs you, know what you're selling it for. Profit is not a dirty word. You are allowed to make it. Nobody needs to see your invoices. Nobody needs to know who your suppliers are. Nobody needs to know how it's done. You don't worry about any of that. You just I couldn't tell you the last time I bought something. I thought, hey, I wonder if they made this and how they made it, and where they got it from, and all the sourcing that. I just bought it because I needed it. That's what it was. So, if your customers.
You're not going to the grocery store and going, okay, I need to see your chickens where these eggs came from. Right.
The way I look at it, if somebody did, I've had two people do that to me, and I politely told them, we can't do business with you. And they're like, oh, are you trying to hide something? I'm like, no, but if these are the problems that we're already running into now, I don't want to have I can't think of what problems we're going to run into later. So it's just best we don't do business. And they were offended. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're not a fit for everybody, and everybody's not a fit for us. There's just some things. And if you're going to come at me and you're like, I need to know your pricing and where you're getting, why, man? Like, no, get out of here. And, just go on with it.
Yeah, totally. All right. Let Darren, when you're talking about looking at the numbers when things change, he says, I have to go back and change my numbers. And it used to be that annually, you kind of do that, but as things are changing a little bit more drastically, I would definitely say up that a little bit, maybe twice a year. If you're a newer business and you're still kind of building some confidence in your numbers, then quarterly is probably a good thing. Good point, Darren, and congrats to you for doing that. Right.
I think with that, it may not even be quarterly. Sometimes, I plan to do this quarterly, but when you go in and you notice that there's a big fluctuation on that, like going from 229 to 279, I mean, that's a big increase on it. Start looking at all the stuff, here, what's everything, what are my core products that I used? Let me just go ahead and check them now to see what's changed with it, because it can get crazy quick. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the great part about it, Todd, though, that I think people sometimes miss. They go, God, I have to look at my numbers all the time. I hate spreadsheets, blah, blah, blah. If you do this the right way, right? This is what we set up with 5 keys. If you do this the right way and you have the information there, going and checking it's super simple, right? It doesn't, I mean, it's like that. What happens is people get into the problem of, I have to do this because you're recreating the wheel each time. They don't have a system. Right. And so really that's kind of what 5 Keys does. It gives you a system. It gives you a way to kind of build your business, a foundation that then the checkups, the things like that are super easy to do. They don't take much time and they're not that difficult. I look at it this way. I think we've all probably been on several sides of this, but it reminds me of people that would. So my dad was an accountant for 25 years. Yes, everybody have your drink. The people that would come to him with just this like stack of receipts and it's just crazy, right? That was a mountainous project that they paid for dearly, right? So if they were trying to do their taxes at the end of the year and they were going through all that stuff, it's a Herculean effort. But if you keep up with that on a regular basis, you're entering all your receipts, you're keeping track of your things weekly, then it's super simple. It's 5 minutes a week, right? It's that. And so that's the same thing that happens with our businesses. It's like, yeah, if you are trying to recreate the wheel every time and you've let it all get away from you, then yeah, it's going to be a big effort the first time. But after you get that thing in motion, then it's not a very big effort each time. So anyhow,
Yep.
Gone way off the rails, but it was important. So, all right, let's see here. I think this is Jerry. I just switched screen printing ink from 40 a quart to, no, I think this might be Becky, actually. I think I saw a post about this. I just switched screen printing ink from 40 a quart to over 100 a quart. I don't budge too far on my pricing because I know what I need to make. There you go. That's awesome. That's the key. You've got it. And I think, like I said, this based on just I'm guessing, but this Facebook user here. All right. Jesus, good advice. All right, good. Dean says, I remember when I started how low my pricing was. It took a while to figure it out. And I did not have the OSG 5 keys. I had to do it the old-fashioned way of hard knocks. So if you'd like to avoid those hard knocks, go right up above me right here, OSG, oursuccessgroup.com/try OSG. And then we've got a little trial offer where you can check it out and you'll have access to that 5 keys program for 30 days for only $5. And then we think you're going to see the value and you'll want to carry on, but you can cancel it anytime. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Dean says t-shirts went up big time. Absolutely. Supply and demand, right? Jennifer says, I reprice every single time now because prices are so all over the place.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because
the shipping, I think that was the main reason that shirts went up, was because what they were traditionally paying, $2,000 or $3,000 to ship a container over. And then, when it goes up tenfold, that price has got to, they got to pay for that somewhere, They can't be losing it on it. So they're going to pass it along to us. It's just part of the business, man. And we're going to see this. I don't think we're going to see any kind of stabilization, probably another 2-3 years, by the time everything, because it just seems when we thought we're going to come back, something happens and, here's another one, so now shipping is there. Well, I think now gas is up. Well, okay. Well, now monkeypox is here. Like, what the hell, what's coming next? But there's always something in there. And we're just going to, as it comes through here, so once you have your pricing under control and you know what you're doing, very easy to go in and adjust for those changes.
Yeah. Let me, really, really important and really true there, Todd. Let me play, not devil advocate's not the right word. Let me just kind of give everybody a different perspective here too, though, because, okay, so you talk about the prices have got to go up, the gas and 100% correct. So I'm not in any way, shape or form disagreeing with Todd here. Here's the thing to keep in mind, right? When things are changing, when they're fluctuating, when this is what forces change, right? This is what forces disruption. This is, the cabs got to a point where it was just so ridiculous and the service was so bad and the prices were so high that it made room for Uber and Lyft now and all that other stuff, right? So who knows what'll happen, but just be aware of those things, right? So another opportunity for business owners is to look for those potential disruption points, right? People are sick and tired of this, whatever it is, you look for that. And then you go, as a small business, how could I make their life simpler? It's not about how can you make it cheaper, but how can you make somebody's life simpler? It could be that you're able to save them because you can do it cheaper if you have a longer period of time or whatever, right? And so there's all these opportunities when craziness is happening if we're willing to look for them. So I guess that's what I wanted to just quickly share there. Again, not as a disagreeing or devil's advocate side of things, but just let's think about perspectives here too.
Yep. Yeah. If there's a way to make something happen and a way to make something work, then and how can you help facilitate that? Hey, reach out to your suppliers. Well, what's going on with this? Why are you doing this? Why are you
Yeah.
shipping this way? Why are we shipping that way? Me and Jen ran into something when it was bags that she was pricing with. It was like 1,000 of them, and for shipping through their shipping, they were just the grocery totes. It was something like $560 for shipping. I'm like, that seems awful high. And when she priced it out using her UPS account, it was like $300. So she saved $200 by just checking to see, and then they still charge her. I think it was like a $3 box fee for each box to put a tag on it, but that still saved better than that other amount. It's like, man, you have to look and see how can I do this, and why are you doing it this way? There's a couple of people that I've used that I quit using them because of the way that they shipped and how long things were taking. I'm like, listen, if this isn't going to change, then I'm going to find a different supplier on things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's that whole, like, okay, that's disruption, right? And that's a need for change. It's like at a certain level, because Jerry, this is absolutely true. I think customers are more understanding of rising prices nowadays, but that doesn't mean that they won't look somewhere else. I'll tell a quick story of an example from my own personal life here. I'm totally understanding of price increases. I know that that's what the world's going through. But when I got my latest homeowner's insurance bill, the price increase was significant. And so I said, you know what? That's just too painful for me to bear. I get that there's price increases, but I need to take the action to look elsewhere. So I found got an insurance guy that I've been doing business with for our business insurance, and it just wasn't convenient to try to change this all over because at the time you didn't really think about it. But I reached out to him. I said, hey, Kyle, can you just take a look at this? It seems, and he's like, wow, yeah, that's really high. And I'm like, comes back, he's saving us $2,000 a year. And so again, it wasn't that we were already paying way too much for it when we just got it. But at a certain level, it was painful enough that it forced us to take action and go spend some of our time to find an alternative. And so we have. So you have to understand that you may say my prices are going up and you may lose some customers, and that's okay. Don't let that keep you from raising your prices when you need to. So.
And insurance is a scam anyway. Home insurance is a scam. Like, I don't get how one year I am not in a flood zone, and the next year I am in a flood zone, and the next year I'm not in a flood zone, and the next year I am in a flood zone. I'm like, if my house floods, you realize that because we're on a hill that the rest of the neighborhood is underwater, right? Like this is not a 100-year flood. This is like a 1,000-year flood. So we go back and forth every year on this. I'm like, not happening. It's because 10 foot of our back lot is in a flood zone. And so I can't give that to my neighbor or anything. It's mine. So it'll never flood into my house. And they're like, you can get a resurveyed and you can go through that. But here's the kicker to the resurveyed part. To go through that process is about $5,000. Guess what? It's only about an extra $300 a year for flood insurance. So do the math. Oh, yeah. You see how this is? You're going to pay it during your loan, or you're going to pay it when you do this. You're paying it either way. Scam artists.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Dean talking about the 5 keys and the OSG squad says, well worth it for $5. Thank you, Dean. Appreciate you saying that. This number, and I don't know if I'm just old or whatever. And I don't deal in shirts every single day personally, right? Todd would know way better. Obviously, Dean knows way better than I do. But I do remember when a cheap white T-shirt, the big deal was the fact that it was going to start being over $1.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember like $1.59, $1.69.
Okay.
So $2.39, like $2.39 was like, that was a color shirt, like one, Now, like, oof, wow.
Yeah. 350 at $2.39. That's a lot. Yeah. But that's what they're at. That's the reality. So prices. Darren says, I wish I would have known. I would have driven my Prius down and got them from here. If my house floods, we're talking biblical levels. Yes.
That's me.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Todd, we've got one more question, but let's save it because I think we're back next week, right?
Yep, we're back next week.
Yep. So we're saving it for next week. But in the meantime, if you guys want to get some more questions in there, bring them on. oursuccessgroup.com/QA. I hope that's still there. After changing things over, there's been a few pages that have had to change. So let me look at that real quick before I put my foot even further.
Which one? The QA? The QA one's still good.
Yeah, it's still good. Okay.
I double checked that. I double checked that today.
There you go. All right. oursuccessgroup.com/QA to get your questions in there. And we will be back next week. Todd,
totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Go ahead.
All right.
Double dip, you scam artist. You're probably selling insurance to other
sell
teachers.
insurance during all their time off. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I know tons of teachers that double dip like that. Like here's the biggest scam of a teacher, right? We're gonna get into this.
Oh no.
So we live
Again,
in a border
this
state.
is Todd's opinion and Todd's opinion only. Go ahead.
So we live in a border state. So my ex-father-in-law was here. He retired so he can have his pension and everything from here in Illinois. But then he was able to go work in another state and start up a whole new pension and start all those benefits again and double dip. And he was still able to substitute teach in this state. So he was triple dipping. Like, what is this? Like, and that starts at like 22 years. So do you think if a kid's fresh out of college, they're 22, you know, you're talking, you're 45 to 47 and you can do this. And you've got another, yeah. Teachers have it rough, my ass. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. It's the
All
benefits. Right. That's why you do it. You eat crap in the beginning to enjoy it at the end. That's why. It's just like business. You know, it's ramen and mac and cheese when you're starting off. So, hey, in 10 years from now, I can go to have a meal and I don't even care what the price is. I'm just buying it because I want it. So, yes, that's what most jobs are. Garbage in the beginning, rewarding at the end. Teaching is one of them.
Okay. All right. So there we go. All hate mail goes to Todd at fatdadcd.com. All right. Hey, you guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, I couldn't do their job. I couldn't mess with bratty kids. No way.
Yeah. No. All right, dude. Well, great job tonight. Good times, and appreciate everybody tuning in. And we said, we will be back next week. Todd, anything new and exciting coming up for you here over the next week?
If I win the Mega Millions, I will give all OSG members $10,000.
Okay. And are you playing the Mega Millions? Are you? Because you can't win if you don't play.
I mean, now I'll play. Now that's over a
now
million.
You'll play. All right.
Now,
so you can get signed up today and be on that list for $10,000 when Todd wins the Mega Millions.
Yeah, Mega Millions. Yeah, I can do that. 10,000.
How many millions do you have to win to make that?
Well, I got to win it all.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I don't know what the what's the Mega Millions?
What's the payout on right now? It's over $1 billion. That's
Is it really?
Yeah, wow. It just rolled over, so it's going to be over like $1 billion right now.
All right, so you'll be able to give away $500,000, no big deal. So.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like $10,000 each. You know, no problem. I might even make it 20. Like, we'll see. I might come in and deliver it and make it rain with dollar bills. You know,
there you go. So Todd, Paige is rooting for you, and somebody says 1.6 billion. I think. Holy cow!
Yeah, you take the cash payment. It's like $600 million. So, yeah.
Okay.
I could drop.
So one half of one of those 600 mils could be coming. Portions of that could be coming to you if you were an OSG squad member.
Absolutely.
So even if they're just in part of the trial offer, Todd, it's $5 to potentially get $10,000.
That's right. We're talking gambling. That's what we're gonna do. Roll the dice on that. Got to be a member, whether a trial member or full member. And your chance to win $10,000.
OSG bus ready to hit the road to deliver that. Oh my God, it's going to be great. And there will be a retreat at OSG Island. And
there will be an island. It's got to have power. It's got to have internet. Yeah. It'll be nice.
We'll have and we'll also have like a nice like sitting area, right, with the throne. So it's kind of got Todd Island and down with that, and then we'll just do all of your live videos from there, and we'll have.
And it will not be an Epstein Island. No Epstein Island. It'll be an enjoyable island.
Yes, I love it. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. And so, Todd, but you've got Morning Mindset on Friday.
Yep, tomorrow we are dropping another bundle drop back to school. There's going to be 2 versions of back to school one that we're doing. There's going to be some
What time's that at?
Unicorns. 2 p.m. right after Kylene. So that's what we got.
All right. So there you go.
So that's what we got. Who do you got on? Who do you got on Two Early Guys this week?
A friend of mine, his name's Tika, and I've actually known him for quite a while. He was actually in one of my marketing seminars back in Atlantic City like 10 years ago. And we've kept up since then. And he's an entrepreneur in the industry, but does a whole lot of other things. He just released a book. It's not specific to garment relations, but I think his journey is really interesting for people to understand. So, and in fact, we get to talk about his book. It's about the baby loss, his father's side of that, and it's an interesting book. And so we're going to just talk to him about his journey. That's happening on Friday, and looking forward to talking to him. Small Business Saturday on Saturday, I'm going to be talking about customer loyalty programs.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, and what that can do for you and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm excited to see what people think about that. And then you've got Tuesday, you'll have morning mindset Monday, Tuesdays with Todd. Do you know what you're doing yet, or that's still in the works?
I think I have been given the green light to do DTV. That's what I'm waiting for Caesar to know for sure, because they're officially launching it at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So if everything falls into place, I will be the first live demonstration of it will be with me on Tuesday with Todd. So DTV, that's what we're working with.
I love it. All right, dude. Well, that sounds awesome. Tune in, and then we'll see you back here for Q&A with TNA next Wednesday, the 3rd of August.
That's right.
All right, everybody have a great night. We'll talk to you very soon.
See you guys.